High school and green. Royal we culture we clean. Fi straighten up something that them lean with transparency from the agency of the I Supreme. Cosmic intuition and initiation from within. I'm an angel and on a wing like pigeon. Concept by accept of I origin. Representing free-minded article breaching. Man without a woman is like a house without kitchen. People without them roots is like plants for edging. Everything perish without oxygen. Them a vibration, them a waves, and them a sound palm rhythm. Hey! Time for the lions. Tell them one story. Listen to the lion voice, yeah? Up.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at it.
I want to ask the I know why Bobo Ashanti historically has not joined any of the All Mansion initiatives that have risen in Jamaica. There have been several. The first of which was started by David McCunning, His Majesty grandson, in the 90s. We then had the RCO. We had the Millennium Council. The Bobo Ashanti has, historically been an observer in these movements that mean supportive, but has never actually signed onto any agreement. We are in the Armageddon stage. I think we all agree. We lived through the lockdown. We saw the rise of food prices, global food shortage. We see what is happening around the world. Why, at this time, has the Bobo Ashanti decided to join arm in arm with other Rastafari mansions and organizations? That is the question that the world wants to know, Priest Lamont. Why? And why now? And why RMO?
That's quasi. You talked about the unity being trying to forge the unity as far as the 90s, but it goes as far back as the 1950s and not just the 1990s, because there have been many attempts, even by the founding fathers, who have tried to create that Rastafari unity, even before 1966, when the emperor came. And there have been many attempts from those early days. And maybe one of the reasons, some of the reasons that the Bobo Ashanti house has been very quizzical and critical about getting, in much activities with other mansions is that things have happened in the past that caused a bitter taste in the mouth and have fostered bitter memories, and so it continued, not because King Emmanuel had given up on unity and oneness, but that he thought it must be done in an orderly way so that there is no discrepancy and there is no, what I would say, violation of the Babylon, some of the Babylon's regulations, so that, any cause.
Try to hold the phone in one place, because it seems like when you hold it in one place, the Wi-Fi come in better, so just See if you can hold it
to
one
come
place
down
or put it up one place.
when you
Forgive I and I family. We're working out technical difficulties, but we're making it happen. Make sure you subscribe and share the link, please. Hold the phone in one place, because it's when you were holding it one place, it seemed like the Wi-Fi was coming in nicely. And then when you start moving it, then it kind of shake it up. So if you can hold it one place and go forward, because we did not hear, because we want to know why again. Now.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So, like I said, from past activities, that created the narrative that we were to be careful of how we associate with other mansions, because the kind of order, King Emmanuel is very orderly. Bobo Ashanti don't walk around with their shirt out of their hands so much. Nowadays, you'll see a few Bobo Ashanti do that. In those days, the way you attire yourself was very, very strict and important to King Emmanuel. We always had to go out properly attired. And everything that he does is orderly. And so there was some amount of disorder among some of the other groups. However, in the over time, we have seen there have been different attempts to forge the unity. Now, in the 90s, you talk about the different RCO and RMO, what they call it, the RMC, and these other efforts to unite the family. The Bobo Ashanti started out to take what we call observer status among them. So we would go to the table, but we would not participate in many of the things that were being decided. We were observing, maybe what they were aiming at, what would come of it. I don't know. I know in the now, because not even until now, Raskwasi, all Bobo Ashanti are in agreement with with going out and uniting among other mansions. Hold that. Many Bobo Ashanti still hold that sentiment. But of course, there is the council of elders.
Just say that one more time. One more time. We lost that, and that's a very important point. You're clarifying that not only are on board, but there was a process. So just block that part again, please.
Yes, a process that of the elders that have sat with King Emmanuel, that those that have been there, and I that have come along in those early days, of course. And we think it prudent not just to have observer status in the now, when, you know, we talk a lot, even in our culture, that King Emperor Haile Selassie first said organize and centralize. That, of course, is the base of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey's teaching. And of course, King Emmanuel himself has taught us the importance of unity. So in the now, there are those elders and even some of the younger brethren too that realize that unity is the only acceptable goal right now. And going to the table, because we have been at the RMO table for more than 18 months as observers, like, you know, while many that have not signed on now are more active. Yes, and so we were there, as observer more than most other mansions. But there came the time when we decided that the unity must be mentored by all, and the advice was given to us that are at the table representing the Bobo Ashanti family. And so we decided not just to be observers, but to be signatories, so that we can add value added, effort to the unity. And that is how we have now come to sign the RMO document of unity, because we realize that in order to make vital input, we need to have that power when as a signator, because of course decision making requires those that are signatories, and that is how we have come to sign and to be a signator to, and we are truly determined to remain that way, as some of the one of the main house that is really showing that the unity is that important, and we have to put aside differences. And I was on a radio program last night, and I pointed out to the host that we can't seem to have to big up Muta. We have to big up in the past.
Yes.
Yes, I was talking with the Honorable Muta Baruka last night for quite a while. And as you say, we have to pick him up, because he really provided a platform for us to speak, whatever is needed to listen. And so I pointed out that now is not the time for us to be hung in the past about what has happened. Many of the people that have engaged in misdoings in those 1950s and 1960s, they have done their job, they have done their work, they have set their stage, and many have transitioned into ancestral state. I have the mantra to carry on. And so we have to know what we are going to do. Because here, when I went to the Bobo Ashanti Raskwasi, I never saw any of these on my face. They were not of this color. You see what I'm saying? So having said until I have reached this color, that qualifies me to be an elder.
Yes.
And so we decided that it does not make sense to continue with this disjointedness. And now in this time, our children are not as what we call cultured, and they're not as oriented in terms of self-identity. And if we don't do something, and they are going to be totally lost. So some kind of unity has to be forged. So yes, because as a teacher, some of my friends called me today just to help to their children, and we were talking about the fact that parents are not the guardian of their children anymore. It's the internet. It's the gadgets that they hold in their hands, and it's causing them to be all the same. When you look at children in one house, they operate exactly like the children in the next house. And it does not matter if you're a preacher or a thief. Your children are operating the same way, because they are engaged in the same kind of activity. They are well programmed. So let no one be tricked that a mother or a father is the total guardian of a child, because they are more influenced by outside programmers. So it is great now for us to get together, to teach the unity, to teach our children the values that will help them to be different, the values that will help them to have some kind of identity, to know who you are, to know where you're going and to know where you're coming from.
Yeah. Well, don't be afraid, for I am with the eye. I will bring thy children from the east and gather thee from the west. I shall say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from afar, my daughters and daughters, while you waiting. Down in the west it seems your life frustrating. Down in the west it seems the haters keep hating. Africa awake, creators start creating. Then will be party waiting. Me and me woman love making. Leave Babylon and them hating. One love Africa and Jamaican. Then will be party waiting. Whole family them celebrating. Leave Babylon and them hating. One love Africa and the Haitian. The story written in my DNA. Them up my four parents never get no pay. But down in a them system I could never stay. For 100 years been planning a getaway. Them put us down in a the ghetto, now things get away. And the way the system set up seems it's set away. Now the ghetto youths them praying for a better day. I know the bugger them vex the day we step away. Until then, we will be party waiting. Me and me woman love making. Leave Babylon and them hatings. Black Americans will be participating. Then we will be party waiting. Whole family them celebrating. We leave Babylon and them faking. In a Brazil them and mama communicating. The story written in my DNA. That's why me couldn't work for no CIA. That's why me couldn't work for no DEA. How many innocent lives did they put away? Put us under the jail, through the book of wages. So many African males, please don't look away. I remember the land that they took away. Now Babylon them off to pay for their cookie pay.